Thanks again, Scott. Up next, we got Matt Bahm from Whitewood. He's going to talk about hosting the Tankard this year, the SaskTel Tankard, and they did a fabulous job there. It was neat to be a part of it, kind of behind the scenes this year. I wasn't a competitor, so to see all the effort they put in and just how successful it turned out to be, it's quite something to be proud of. So welcome here, Matt.
Thank you. Okay, so obviously I'm here to talk about the Tankard that we hosted in Whitewood. Quickly about us, I mean, we're not a super large community. We're similar to what Scott's community is like, about 900 people or so. We're blessed that we have a great facility, hockey rink and a curling rink that are all under the same roof. Before I talk about the Tankard and sort of everything that we had to do to put that event on and what made it successful, I have to talk about our end of year bonspiel. In our community, we call it the Farmers and Friends bonspiel. It's 4 years now we've hosted it, and like every good idea, it came to us after a night of curling up in the lounge with a drink. Basically, what we wanted to do was, it was always an event that we had at the end of the season, but it was fairly small. It wasn't super exciting, wasn't anything to write home about. What we wanted to do was, our club president talked to me and said, hey, why don't we put more sheets on our hockey ice? And we'll have a bigger bonspiel, maybe like 30 teams this year. Well, we thought that was just a great idea, so we put the word out that we're going to have extra ice, extra sheets available on our hockey ice. Well, wouldn't we know it, we eventually ended up getting up to a full 64 teams for that first year for this bonspiel. And it's just kind of grown since then. Again, it's a 4-day event that we host, and we host that event with a committee of 8 people. Of those 8, what we do is we'll have our regular meetings, obviously, but we split up our duties pretty segregated so that everyone just has certain things that they're expected to do and bring it back to our group and work from there. With that said, we're also in constant communication amongst one another through WhatsApp. Obviously, there's lots of different things that you can use, but it's just something to kind of keep everyone informed of exactly what's going on a day-to-day basis or every couple-day basis, and to just make sure that we're kind of running through the same thing, doing the same thing, pulling the same direction. And then our committee, we've had the same one. We've added a couple people as we have grown a little bit, but one of the successes that we have as a committee is that we have fun together too. Like, we're not all close friends, but we're acquaintances and we enjoy each other's company. We have fun, and I think that's important. That you have some closeness with those people and you can have some fun with them at the same time. So our event, it's focused on fun, and what I mean by that is it's an open bonspiel. There's no sort of grand cash prize for the winners of the events. We want it to be something that everyone can participate in and everyone can have fun in. So can you just hold on?
Yeah.
Can you go back a couple actually? Yeah. So, for example, we have a best dressed prize. It's not something that everyone does, but some obviously do. We have something always going on. There's a free door prize. It's a trip to Vegas. We have a Calcutta auction, just the irregular stuff. There's a wing night, entertainment. We have a draw to the button, costumes like I saw. We give out an award for our community at the same time. My list goes on and on here. But basically what I'm trying to get to is that this is something that we want everyone to be part of and everyone to have fun with and everyone have a reason to participate in. Every curler leaves with a $20 gift card, and overall its popularity is reflected in its renewal rate for our teams. I checked with our group before I came here and we have 51 spots spoken for, picked up already for next year. Not only is it successful for the fact that people are participating in it, but so for example, in this photo here, you can see I'm holding up a sign up at the front of this room, and this is during our farm services auction. It's the main draw for our fundraising portion of it, and what we've morphed it into is this giant kind of community event whereby our businesses can donate certain items that we can then resell at no cost to us, and put into different community projects, whether it be at the rink or other projects that we've been requested to provide funding for. It's a bit of a showcase for those businesses. Like I said, it's a fun event. There's lots of people there, as you can see. It's really kind of the thing to do at the end of March in our community. With that said, those sponsorships that we get for that event, we're very flexible with them. So sort of like what Scott was saying, every sponsor is looking for something that's a little bit different perhaps, and we try to really engage in that and offer what they want that's going to get those dollars coming into our event and helping out with our club. I mean, not every sponsor wants a sign on the wall and a spot in the program. We have one of our sponsors brings a great big cattle trailer and they park it at the end of the rink during the event. Another sponsor would park a combine in front of the rink, for example. Just some different things that, again, that's what they value, and so we try to provide that value for them to get that sponsorship dollar back in return. And there you can see that's sort of the finals of one of our events. You can see the number of people that are just watching. Again, this is just an open bonspiel for our community. The last thing that we do that I think is helpful for us, that really helps with our kind of clout in the community, is that we share all our financials with them. So they know where that money's coming from and where that money's going afterwards at the end of the day. Because we are able to give back a lot of money into the rink itself and other projects within our community and within surrounding communities. So part of that success that we were able to show with that bonspiel, we were able to secure the rights to host the 2019 SaskTel Tankard. So obviously in our small community, we were a bit maybe overwhelmed at first in exactly what we were being asked to put on, but we just kind of approached it the same way that we did our other event, which is we had our group that we ended up growing to 16 members, but I think we picked the right members to be part of that group. People that we have different experiences, different ages, different statuses within the community, some people from other communities as well. Our committee was given guidelines on what sort of our overall vision wanted to be for the event, and were then given the ability to make their own decisions on exactly how their portions were going to go, and then report back afterwards on exactly kind of what they had decided. We didn't want to micromanage everyone. Everyone was an adult and kind of would be able to pick what they wanted to do as long as it sort of fit with the overall vision. We were able to leverage a lot of the sponsors that we would get yearly with our Farmers Bonspiel to also sponsor this event, including some of our new committee members. So, I mean, everyone has a Rolodex, and sometimes it's just a matter of being able to walk up to the right person and asking them if they want to be a part of that event or sponsor that event or whatever way they want to kind of be involved. And lastly, because the event is the Provincial Championships, that opened a lot of doors for us with some of our sort of brand name sponsors. What often happens is a lot of these sponsors in your community, say for example, your Napa or like a pharmacy, they'll have a pool of dollars that they can spend themselves locally, and then they also have a pool of dollars that they can tap into from their sort of national brand that they can then apply to that event, because that have to meet certain criteria. So being a provincial event can often kind of satisfy those criteria and then get you a bit bigger contribution from that business that they don't necessarily have to pull out of their own pocket. So so once we knew that our sponsorship were kind of above budget, we were able, and ticket sales were on track, we were able to finalize some of our other spending plans, including some of the stuff that you see in the photo there at the patch. We have, a band that we were able to bring in, a larger band that we were able to bring in for Saturday night, some other bands as well. Just, lots of different things going on, sort of that whole kind of time period. You might be thinking, we only have 900 people in our community, where did everyone stay? And so we were able to use about 30 hotel rooms in town, and then the remainder that we were expected to offer were 30 minutes away in a neighboring community, and we provided an on-call shuttle for the teams and dignitaries that had to stay in that community. So, don't feel as though you have to be constrained to sort of what's available in your community. We really tried to utilize the services that were available in our region, and further to that, we tried to also advertise our ticket sales to the region at the same time. Besides the shuttle that we provided for shuttling back and forth between the hotels, we also provided one in town specifically, and that went over really, really well. that week of the Tankard this year, I think it didn't go above -30 the whole time. It was quite cold. So a lot of the people that had purchased tickets were more than happy to have a vehicle come and pick them up because they knew it was going to be warm, they knew they didn't have to walk, they didn't have to find parking, anything like that. And it was really well utilized for that reason. Yeah, so this is the last photo, and this kind of speaks to what I think was the best success of our event, and it was our volunteers. So what we did was we hosted a free barbecue kickoff to sort of welcome our community to come to the event, to sponsor the event, to volunteer at the event. Nothing gets people out like a free barbecue, and ours was not an exception to that. We were able to sign up, I think, 80 people at that one night. So, I mean, not only was the community sort of engaged with curling because of our previous bonspiels, and we're involved with the barbecue that we hosted, but I think just there's a general excitement within our community to host this event, an appetite sort of to prove ourselves that we can do this, that we want people to visit our community and show that we have some great things to offer to everyone. Officially, we had 130 volunteers sign up, but many others helped pre and post event that wouldn't be included in that number. In this photo, it's a bit difficult to see, but there's two ladies in the bottom left, and they're actually scrubbing our stands with on their hands and knees. That happened in the whole facility, and it wasn't planned this way, but it worked out really well, such that it was the day that the CURLSASK officials started to arrive, and let me tell you, they were more than impressed with the amount and dedication that we had from our volunteers doing this sort of thing. The Sunday of the event, that's the last day of the Tankard. I had someone come up to me and they asked me if there's anything that needed to get done on Monday that they could help with, and I said, well, yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be some things that I could use some extra hands with, some volunteers. And he told me that's great because I already took the day off work and I expected to come and help. A couple notes that I think also were helping in our success. We had, again, 16 committee members working on this event specifically, and a lot of them were available the entire time throughout the event at our facility. Not everyone all the time, but there was enough of us that we were always there and always visible, able to answer questions, able to help out with anyone who needed something, even just to answer questions from our volunteers or spell them when they needed to be spelled. And the last thing is, CURLSASK is was really great to deal with. They were very generous in what they offered to us to help host the event, and they're very generous in their hosting agreements. So, I think the one thing that I want to kind of convey to you guys is that don't feel as though you are constrained by what you think. Don't underestimate yourself, I guess is the best way to put it. Put yourself out there, and you never know what you might be able to succeed with. We were not expecting to be able to put on such an event like this, and we heard nothing but great compliments from everyone from it, and it's been nothing but benefit for our club specifically. I didn't want to take too much of your time. I know we've kind of been sitting here for a while, so that's really all I had to share. But I'm more than happy to stick around and answer any specific questions that you guys might have about hosting, how we do things, what we did do or didn't do. I have financials from both events to kind of share if you guys want to know sort of what we pay for what or what to expect to be charged for certain things. And I have sign-ups too for our 5th annual Farmers and Friends Bonspiel if anyone wants to come. Anyway, that's everything for me. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.